Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Policy Watch with your host Kriti Mishra. One district, one product is an initiative which is seen as a transformational step towards realizing the true potential of a district, fuel economic growth and generate employment and rural entrepreneurship, taking us to the goal of AtmaNirbhar Bharat. The objective is to identify one product per district based on the potential and strength of a district and national priorities, develop a cluster for that product in the district which is capable of producing world-class product with quality, scalability and a brand, and also provide market linkages. This scheme is basically a Japanese business development concept which gained prominence in 1979. It is aimed at promoting a competitive and staple product from a specific area to push sales and improve the standard of living of the local population. Over time, it has been replicated in other Asian countries as well. And to analyze the impact of the scheme, I am joined by Mr. Navneet Sehgal, Additional Chief Secretary, Government of UP, and Mr. Kiran Chopra, Convener, CII, National MSME Council. Welcome to Rajya Sabha Television, gentlemen. Mr. Sehgal, coming to you first. Uttar Pradesh became the pioneer in initiating one district, one product scheme to encourage indigenous and specialized products and crafts of the state. How has been the experience, sir?
No, you see, we have had a very good experience. And in fact, you see, word over, as you were mentioning about the Japanese experiment, word over the industry, particularly the smaller ones and craftsmen and handicraft, it has developed in clusters. Because the clusters gives you volume, clusters gives you volume of skill, it gives you volume of product, it gives you volume of business, it gives you, a lot of other advantages which normally you wouldn't get. So our Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath ji, he had this concept and he declared it as as a program in January 2018. And since then we have been working in a very planned manner to kind of first identify a product in a district and then do a diagnostic study of that product. What are the you can call it a SWOT kind of analysis. What is the strength, what is the weakness, what is the opportunities, and what are the threats. And we have appointed renowned consultants like E&Y is our consultant, and they are working on every district, on each product, one product from each district, to find out the the issues involved in that product and to handhold the product. So, I'll tell you as if we go further how we are doing it, but it has resulted in an increase of almost 38% in exports in past 2 years. And, it has increased the momentum, it has increased the number of MSMEs in these areas. And we have, you take skill, we have trained more than 90,000 artisans and craftsmen in their local product, and it is given a fillip to our existing industry. In fact, the Government of India was also in this current budget, they have mentioned about one district, one product. Yes. So, the whole momentum is gaining because we are concentrating on, and we are, we're doing a thorough and scientific and practical study of the issues and then sorting out each issue.
All right, so that's a big takeaway that after the implementation of this scheme, there has been a 38% increase in exports from Uttar Pradesh. But talking about other districts, Mr. Chopra, under the initial phase of the scheme, 106 products have been identified from 103 districts across 27 states. Tell us about the importance of the scheme in development of a particular district.
Well, I think apart from just, the concept of national integration sort of dovetails, and we have what is called cultural integration. And cultural integration is actually a clear demarcation of cultures within the country and within the states. In fact, I would say that each district is almost like a fingerprint or a thumbprint, which is unique in its own way. And bringing together all these cultural capabilities and integrating them or sewing the needle through the thread of all these cultures is actually bringing together some lost forms of handicrafts or art forms, which probably would have been in the wilderness over a period of time. And I think our Honorable Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath ji, and of course the ODOP program headed very ably by Navneet Sehgal ji, has acquired a dimension which was never ever conceived, even at the time of the concept of ODOP. And what it has done in terms of creating the excitement around native products is visible in the form of the growth in exports and the development of the ODOP sector as a whole. So I feel that going forward, after making things with technology, making it much easier for people to reach out to geographies and across the world. Of course, there are certain issues that will have to be, again, over a period of time, deliberated and resolved, because selling to the world is as easy as selling within the country. But at the same time, there are some regulatory issues which have, people who come from smaller districts have to face with FEMA related and other regulatory issues connected with exports and customs. But all of this is being addressed. And I think going forward in the next maybe a couple of years, ODOP will be a brand in itself. So I look forward to this huge, massive cultural integration of Indian products, which are going to be seen around the world.
All right, sir, you also talked about the challenges. Let me take that to Mr. Sehgal. Mr. Sehgal, we understand that improvements in the operations of the domestic manufacturing and service sector in combination with the efficient infrastructure support by the government would result in correcting the imbalances. What were the challenges that you had to address?
You see, as I was telling you, we have done now studies of almost all the products in all the districts. There are many challenges that we came across. Many of them. In fact, Kiran was right. Actually, no planned effort was ever made to understand these domestic and the traditional crafts which was there in our state and in the country, so to say, for years together. And they've been growing on their own without any kind of support, much support, and without even kind of understanding of that product. So when we started going into the study of these products, then we realized there are many issues, like some of the, like you see Banaras, there were issues like the artisans, the craftsmen could not buy the thread. So we have now, made them into groups. We have helped them by giving revolving funds so that they can, without getting into the credit facilities by private lenders, on their own they can buy the thread. And then, like places like Muradabad, there's a technology which is not, they're not able to afford it. So we as a government, we are helping them to access that technology. I'll give you an example of a place called Sambal. They used to make buttons from the animal, so now what is happening is, the animal bones, they used to make buttons. So what they used to do, they used to make rough buttons and send them to China, and then they used to get processed and they used to come back to Sambal, and then they used to be exported. So it used to increase the cost of transporting from here and there and taking time. So what now we have already sanctioned them a project where we are getting them the same machine here in Sambal itself. So once they get a machine here, so what they will do is they'll finish it and then send it. Similarly, people from Agra, they used to export shoes. Shoe is our product, one district, one product from Agra. And many times they didn't have a laboratory to certify to the European standards or the US standard. And many times the whole lot used to come back rejected by the purchaser because of the failure of in the labs. So we have given them a lab in Agra itself. It is operational now, where they could test it as per European standard before sending it out. Similarly, there were financial issues. We have now tied up many banks like Bank of Baroda, State Bank of India, other financial institutions to help them to access easy finance. Similarly, many products we are facing that they have a packaging issues. If you are selling something, if it is not packaged properly and not attractively, you may not get buyers. So we have signed an agreement with Indian Institute of Packaging, which is helping us to improve the packaging of the material. Similarly, we have signed an MOU with Quality Council of India, which will help them to improve the quality, whatever product they are marketing, to improve the quality of the product. we found that smaller craftsmen, they don't have a market access. They can't take their products. We used to organize exhibitions, but they were in a limited way. Not many exhibitions used to take. So now we are putting them onto e-marketplace. Earlier we had signed agreements with Amazon, Flipkart, and all those things, and we are helping the small artisans, small craftsmen, medium level craftsmen to access the e-marketplace. And in fact, now we have started our own e-marketplace for ODOP products itself, where we will put all these products free of cost for our artisans and the craftsmen.
All right, so those were the examples as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned. Mr. Chopra, talking about Uttar Pradesh, the development that we saw there, and now talking about the northeastern economies. Now, carpet making industry, bamboo wood vessels, cane craft, jewelry, or the handloom industry, which produces some of the best silk products in the country, or the agricultural products that range from the world's best turmeric to one of the hottest chilies in the world. One district, one product. The potential that it has to be the game changer for northeastern economies.
Yes, of course, the cultural diversity of India offers opportunity, which is, I would say, unlimited. In the sense that today, if you look at, we are living in a virtual world. Tourism is not what it used to be. But if you ever have traveled abroad and, you walk into a small village of a small country, what you look for is a souvenir shop, because you want to take back a memory of that particular location or that particular experience. And what we can do today, and which is already happening thanks to the OTOP concept, which is prevalent in UP at the moment, is that you can virtually sell your memory of a particular geography virtually today through the e-commerce platforms. And going forward also, I feel as tourism builds up, and as you know, there is a lot of tourism-related development, even religious tourism, for example, Ayodhya is coming up in a big way. So when there is so much movement of people through a state, especially a state of UP, and even in the northeastern and the northern part of India, what needs to be done is promote local craft and cultural traditions through the ODOP concept, through souvenir shops, even virtually and otherwise, even physically through brick and mortar locations at the various tourist spots. And that would translate into multiples, which is, it is difficult to imagine what the potential is in terms of the possibilities. And just like, Agra is synonymous with India, but it is a part of UP. The same thing will go forward with, the ODOP products will make UP synonymous with India and therefore connected to the world. So the opportunity is quite unlimited. Of course, in terms of the growth possibilities, I think keeping these arts alive in itself is an opportunity for growth.
All right, another important aspect that I'd like to touch upon, Mr. Sehgal, you said that you're ensuring that the industries get easy financial assistance. But what about digital interventions? For instance, ensuring user-friendly web portals?
So you see, we already have a portal where we have set up. It's an app also. It's called Udyam Sarthi. Now, whosoever the smaller businesses, they want to access the product, the finance, technology, everything, we are providing them digitally to them. And there are, in fact, there are tutorial classes also where experts come and tell the businesses, the entrepreneur about the tax issues, the composition of a business like a company or a partnership firm or such things, and then also about the technology in a product. If you wish to access a particular technology, that app will give you an idea about what technology you can use, where you can get it, and exactly the same thing about finance. And another thing I will tell you, there is a public sector banks platform called PSB 59, where a loan is sanctioned within 59 minutes. Nowhere in the country it is done for term loans. But for our ODOP program, Bank of Baroda has signed an agreement with us. They are giving us the facility of PSB 59 for term loans also. So this is, and there the entire process is digitally done. So it is helping us See, we are helping them to access to the e-market. We are helping them to access the technology through e-interventions. So these, the finance also through the PSB 59 portal. These are the interventions are helping now. Exactly, because of Corona, we could not have physical exhibitions. We held, with the help of FICCI, we held a virtual world exhibition of our products, and we got buyers from all over the world to access to our exhibition. More than 57,000 foreigner virtually visited that exhibition, and we could showcase our products to the world virtually. So, as things are coming up, we are digitally helping them. We are trying to get connected to them, get them to connect to the outer world. Because many of the foreigners, when they are coming here, so they find very good products and they want to buy it, they want to access it. And with technology, we can reach out to them, and that's what we are trying to do.
Absolutely, with technology, we can reach out to them. But also, Mr. Sehgal, India witnessed reverse migration with migrant workers going back to their hometowns post the COVID-19 induced lockdown. How do we convert this opportunity to create a more geographically distributed model of development?
You see, one of the inherent advantage of one district, one product is that it will stop migration. Because you see, if a person is brought up in a place called, suppose, Badohi, he has seen carpet weaving throughout his life. Maybe he has worked it, he has seen people working it. So his first, the reaction would be to go into the carpet business or to make carpets. And if we provide infrastructure at the same very place, kind of skill improvements, giving them toolkits, hand holding them to get finance and helping them to get technology. So, people they get their incomes there only at their home. They don't need to move out. What is happening was because of the kind of, what should I say, the government, they did not bother about these traditional craftsmen, the traditional industries. So they had been moving away from the traditional craft and traditional industry to other activities. Some of them even migrating to other states or other countries. So more emphasis on ODOP and more development of ODOP, the various components of ODOP, which include skill improvement, raw material availability, technology, finance, packaging, marketing. When we kind of handhold the artisan, the craftsman in all these areas, his incomes would increase, the business would increase, and once they increase, the turnover will increase, they will certainly stay at home rather than moving out of their homes.
All right, we do hope for that, sir. But Mr. Chopra, India's new foreign trade policy under formulation will come into effect from April 1st, 2021 for 5 years and will strive to make the country a leader in the international trade. The District Export Hubs Initiative, or One District, One Product scheme, will form an important component of the new FTP. Way ahead for better utilization of the Market Access Initiative.
Well, as Mr. Sehgal mentioned, the entire ecosystem with all the stakeholders has been put in place very strategically. And the biggest challenge for MSMEs, and particularly those who want to export, has always been the avenue in terms of marketing the product. And marketing a product for global markets earlier was not possible to a large extent if you didn't have the capital to invest in participation in trade fairs and various other global events. But today, thanks to technology, and this, as Mr. Sehgal rightly said, when you talk of reverse migration, when a lot of these young, educated people from various districts migrate to other states for better job opportunities, and now when they come back, and especially in a time when during the pandemic when they did, they are very technology savvy and they have access to technology today, which perhaps is a gateway to reaching out to the world with regard to whether it's marketing of product, whether it's acquisition of some skills or technology. So all this is part of that ecosystem. And talking about the foreign trade policy, I feel the foreign trade policy is looking at e-commerce as a huge possibility of reaching out to the world for smaller manufacturers, the artisans, the ODOP category of products. And because they are unique in terms of their regional character and the product category, I feel that separate sections and for handicrafts or cultural products will be created in the new policy to sort of encourage the artisans to reach out to the world, because demand for these products is always going to grow. Because if you remember many years ago, when China came into the limelight, they moved from a lot of handcrafted products to machine-made products. So the value of handcrafted products still remains dominant in the Western world. And that is where the opportunity lies. And I think showcasing ODOP products, of course, right quality, right price, right packaging, as Mr. Sehgal mentioned, putting together the entire ecosystem is going to be crucial. And I'm sure the FTP is going to work towards promoting these products.
Absolutely, sir. But before we end this conversation, closing comments from both my guests. Mr. Sehgal, mechanism to propagate one district, one product scheme as a movement in the country.
No, it has already started. Like our state government has done it. Many state governments are following us. They have been asking information. We have been giving them information. And in fact, Government of India in its current budget, they mentioned about one district, one product. So, once it becomes a movement across the states, then it will gain momentum. And our traditional art, craft, this is what the Honorable Prime Minister has been saying about this AtmaNirbhar Bharat. That will become only when we promote our local products and improve their product, improve their quality, improve their packaging, improve their thing. I'll tell you a small thing.
Yes, sir.
Like this Deepavali, we did an experiment. We used to hear that a lot of Ganesh and Lakshmi idols used to come from China. So we did a study by what is the problem. Artisans they were not consistent.
Yes, sir.
So what we did was we engaged some artisans from Calcutta, and we designed molds from them. So we gave them molds. So they came out with lovely idols. And you wouldn't believe, we organized a small exhibition here. And all these earthen products, there's more than 10 lakh worth of those earthen products were sold in just 3 days.
Okay.
And there was a lot of excitement about these idols because they were almost consistent and the quality was much better. So, these interventions, if made in our local product, can our product beat any product in the world? So that is what ODOP will do. Do a technological intervention, do a financial intervention, do a packaging intervention, and create a product which is acceptable all over the world, and get them access to the e-marketplace so it reaches everywhere, wherever the buyer wants it. So that
Mr. Chopra? Yes, sir.
We are aiming.
Mr. Chopra, closing comments?
Well, I'll just sort of add to what Mr. Sehgal said. The ODOP concept, of course, it's a very early part of its development, only 3 years or 4 years into the entire concept, emerging as a world powerhouse of products. At the same time, I feel that UP's model is something that can be juxtaposed across the country in other states, because we've created an ecosystem which is unique, exemplary, and it is addressing all the aspects of what an ODOP product would require in terms of an infrastructural and ecosystem requirement. So going forward, I feel the entire country will integrate into cultural products, which will continue to, promote the country and the various states and districts as a unique identity and part of this country.
Well, absolutely. And on that sanguine note, thank you so much for joining us. So the focus is on addressing the bottlenecks for exporting the products, supporting local exporters, manufacturers to scale up manufacturing to generate employment in the district. That's all we had for you in this edition of Policy Watch. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Rajya Sabha TV.